Roll for Crit presents how to play Game of Thrones Oathbreaker in 5 minutes or less or more. Game of Thrones Oathbreaker is the game that extracts all the lies and deceit from the popular television show and puts them into your hands. Designed by Kevin Spack and published by Direwolf. Hey, like the thing in the show. In Oathbreaker, one player takes on the role of the king, while everyone else takes on the role of a specific character and their associated house. Non-king players are also secretly assigned one of two loyalty cards, Loyalist or Conspirator. Loyalists are on the side of the king. Their goal is to move the white order marker up on the track. Conspirators are working against the king. Their goal is to move the black chaos marker up on the track. At the end of the game, whichever team's marker has advanced the farthest wins. In addition to character boards and loyalty cards, players also receive one secret ambition card. In order to win the game, each player must obtain the cubes shown on their ambition cards in addition to helping their team's marker, except for the king, who has no ambition and cares only about order. When everyone's ready, they receive a hand of 3 influence cards, while the king receives a hand of 5 decree cards, and the game begins. Game rounds alternate between mission rounds and decree rounds, as indicated by the round tracker. First, let's go over mission rounds, as this is where most of the action will happen. One mission card will be flipped from the mission deck for each banner symbol printed on the space of the current round. These are the missions that players will be attempting to carry out or thwart depending on their goals. The king will assign one player to be the hand of the king. That player goes first. They must play at least 2 influence cards from their hand onto one or more mission cards in play face down. They can divide these cards however they like among the current missions, and they can play more than 2 cards if they wish. Whichever mission they played the most cards on top of, they'll mark with their house sigil token. If they played cards to different missions in equal number, they choose where their sigil goes. Then they redraw up to 3 cards, and the next player in clockwise order takes their turn. After all players have taken their turns playing at least 2 cards face down to various missions, they are resolved in an order of the king's choosing. Each pile is shuffled, then cards are revealed from it one at a time to determine the mission's result. Each mission is associated with one of 3 symbols, a crown, sword, or raven. Influence cards feature these 3 symbols along with sabotage symbols. If more symbols matching the mission were played than skulls, then the mission is a success. If the same amount or more skulls were played, it's a failure. A mission with no cards played on it is an automatic failure. Symbols other than skulls that do not match the mission do not help or harm it, they're neutral. Some cards have additional effects, acting as wild cards or increasing the negative effects of a failure. If the mission succeeds, the results listed on the left side of the card are carried out. Generally an increase in order, as well as a reward of resources. Resource rewards only go to the players whose sigil was placed on a successful mission. In rare cases, a failed mission may reward players with resources as well, but more often they will simply advance the chaos marker. Some missions may also have special effects that should be noted when they are drawn. Once all missions are resolved, discard the played influence cards face down, pass the hand of the king token to the next player in clockwise order, and begin the decree round. During this round, the king plays a number of decree cards equal to the symbols shown on the current round space. Favor and suspicion cards are played by the king directly onto other players. These cards contain immediate effects as well as point values in the corners. The king's goal is to play favor cards onto players he believes are loyalists, and suspicion cards onto players he believes are conspirators. The king needs to play one decree card onto each player before being able to play a second card onto anyone. The decree deck also features proclamation cards, which aren't played onto any specific person. They have a general effect and are discarded to the bottom of the decree deck when finished. Read the cards and you'll do fine. In addition to helping with personal goals, resources of any type can also be spent in order to activate individual player powers. Read each character board to find out what these powers do and when they can be activated. Secrecy is a very important factor in Oathbreaker. Players can never reveal their loyalty or ambition cards or make specific comments as to what types of cards they're playing onto missions. Instead, they must remain vague about the types of cards they are using, indicating only whether they are helping, hurting, or remaining neutral. Of course, any and all of these claims can be lies, as players should feel free to bluff or accuse other players in order to help or throw off the king, depending on which side you're on. Once all the rounds have been played out, the king has one final job. He goes around the table and makes a guess as to what side he thinks each player is on. Then, all players reveal their secret roles one at a time. For each favor card correctly played on a loyalist, the order marker advances by the number on the card, while any suspicion cards played on a loyalist advance the chaos marker instead. The reverse is true for conspirators, who advance the order marker for suspicion cards played on them, but chaos for favor cards. If the king managed to correctly guess every player's loyalty, then order advances by another 3, but if the king got any wrong, chaos does so instead. Finally, depending on the number of players, there may be an agent card in the mix. Flip this over. Chaos or Order Advance depending on which loyalty this card holds. Once all cards and rolls are tallied up, see whether Order or Chaos is higher on the track. The team associated with the lower marker loses instantly. Then check to see which members of the team in the lead also completed their ambitions. Those players are the true winners of the game. In conclusion, play cards, earn resources, make judgments, long live the king or not. That's Game of Thrones Oathbreaker in a nutshell. Did you get all that?